Hello, my friends. How are y'all doing out there? Hopefully you are doing well. I know it's a challenge these days because Donald Trump is really screwing up the entire country with all of his nonsense, isn't he? So I hope you're pulling through it. I hope you're doing well. I understand that some are really going through it with the nonsense that he's doing, and we'll cover that a little bit in today's video. We'll talk about that, and we will never let people forget that Donald Trump is putting people out of work right now as we speak, because it's important that we don't let him change history again and try to convince people that he did good for the economy, because somehow people are convinced that in his first term he was amazing for the economy and they voted for him again. So here we are, still dealing with this trade war that Donald Trump has started with a huge portion of the world. You know, we went after Canada for some reason. We went after Mexico. We went after an island with penguins. And for some reason, Donald Trump decided to slap a huge, insanely huge tariffs on China, as we all know. I struggle, my friends, to understand exactly what it is he's trying to accomplish with this, because if you listen to Donald Trump talk, you understand, if you can reasonably listen to him, you can come to the conclusion that everything he's saying is complete bullshit and shows a lack of understanding for how the economy works, or shows that he is intentionally selling us out to Russia, or he's intentionally trying to crash America. I don't fucking know. I'm not sure exactly what he's trying to do, but he is 100% trying to crush the working class of America with all the nonsense that he's doing. And we've seen that through his entire administration, especially this term. Everything has been a cash grab for Donald Trump, including a scammy meme coin. Everything's been policies or executive orders, rather, that are in favor of the billionaires in America. The budget bill that they're trying to pass, I don't know a whole lot about it. I need to dig more into it. But even Republicans are saying that the math doesn't check out. There's no way to do this. Includes major tax cuts to the millionaires and billionaires in America. While, like I said, I need to dig into it more. This is just some of the things I'm hearing right now, saying that there are deep cuts to Medicare and Medicaid to make up for their tax cuts. So if you are still of the mind that Donald Trump is here for the working class, I got bad news for you. You're fucking up. You're fucking up really bad in thinking that. So Donald Trump, part of it is his ego. Obviously, he wants to be the bully of the world. He wants to cause other countries to fall in line for him. And it's just not fucking working out, which is great. I mean, I don't like saying it, my friends. I tell you guys all the time, I don't like saying this as an American, that my country, the country I was born in, raised in, lived in my entire life, needs to lose this battle because, well, it's fucking stupid and it's harmful, is the reason that we need to. And we don't need a single person, one president, thinking they are the ruler of the world. We have seen throughout history where certain people come into power and think they're going to bully the whole rest of the world around. And even if you're from that country, it's not a good thing to be involved with something like that. So we don't want to see that rise out of America either. We want to be able to handle our business. We want to be able to defend ourselves. We want to be able, as American citizens, to make a good living and have stuff to distract us from reality, like, I don't know, video games, but not dolls, because Donald Trump has rationed how many dolls you can have. You know, the guy that shits in a gold toilet has decided that you can only have 2 dolls instead of the 30, of course, that you buy every Christmas. That sounds like fucking psychopath behavior, if I'm being honest with you. Somebody that buys 30 dolls every Christmas. I mean, there's maybe a doll collector out there, I suppose, but it sounds a little bit crazy. But on top of that, he's decided you peasant, you no longer deserve 250 pencils. You can have 5. You can have fucking 5. Remember, the man that shits in gold toilets has decided what you can and can't have. So Donald Trump, of course, started this stupid fucking trade war with China. And the problem with it is he's full of shit about how this is going to work. If we put tariffs on China, magic happens, snap your fingers, magic happens, and manufacturing reappears in America. I can't be the only American that goes, yeah, that's not fucking possible, dipshit. That's not not how this works. And I know that I'm not, but sometimes it drives me fucking crazy to listen to MAGA try to rationalize the things that he did. So we've already got the tariffs. We've already got the broken supply chain. The ports are slowed way the fuck down. I said we talk a little bit about Americans losing their jobs. We also can never forget this. When Donald Trump was asked about the dock workers and the truck drivers that are losing their jobs, he 100% said that is a good thing. Now, he said that it means that we're not losing money because we're no longer paying for the goods that we used to be able to get, I guess. That's his rationale is, well, we're no longer losing money. But the money was in exchange for goods that Americans wanted or needed, small business owners that needed to replenish their inventory here in America, all these things. Sorry, I got a little something in my eye. I'm not a professional YouTuber, am I, my friends? I'm over here. You're one video away from catch me like picking my nose. I promise you that. One time I did, I was making a video on an old trucking channel, and I sometimes got in the habit of forgetting the camera was there. I would just be talking, and I felt a booger in my nose, and I just reached for it, and I recorded it, and I didn't edit it out because I thought it was fucking hilarious. So that was a little side tangent there, if you don't mind. I'm not a professional, my friends. What was I fucking saying? I don't remember even a little bit. But anyways, he said that it's a good thing that Americans are out of a job. So China has been refusing to answer Donald Trump's calls, coming from numerous reports. That's what's going on. And one of the funniest things, I know you guys have already heard it, but one of the funniest things that I've ever heard in my life is that China is trolling the shit out of Donald Trump, apparently. So when he calls, you know, he says they're kissing his ass, but then he calls and then they say, please hold, Donald Trump. And they put him on hold, and apparently they're playing, they're apparently playing Barack Obama speeches while Donald Trump sits and waits on hold, and they just wait for him to hang up. Now, I don't know if that's true, but I like it. I think it's fantastic if it is true. And a masterful trolling job by China, if that is in fact what's going on. But Donald Trump keeps thinking or keeps saying that they're gonna blink, they're gonna make a deal, which is just fucking stupid because there were already deals in place. There was a perfectly functional supply chain, and Donald Trump is lying. He's being completely dishonest about what his goals are. There's so many goddamn obstacles when it comes to bringing back mass manufacturing to America that I often get told in the comments all the things that I'm forgetting, which I'm fine with because there's so fucking much to it. We start with the infrastructure, right? We need that. We need the manufacturing plants or facilities or what have you. We need probably more distribution centers to handle the volume all over America. We need more highways, more roads, more truck stops, more rail yards. I mean, the list goes on and fucking on. Education, training, fuck. I mean, the list never fucking ends. But after that list, after you've done everything on that insanely expensive and extensive checklist, then you would hit other countries with tariffs because everything's already in place for you to fucking do it. But anyways, Donald Trump is getting his fucking ass whipped on the global stage yet again. We saw Canada do it. We saw Mexico do it. I don't know what happened with the island of penguins, if they whipped his ass or not. Figuratively, YouTube gods, figuratively. That's a figure of speech, all right? The whole ass kicking part. But China is absolutely mopping the fucking floor with this guy. They won't answer his calls. They're not calling him. From my understanding of this meeting that's coming up with probably Howard Nutlick and Besant, is that his name? They're basically going to Switzerland to meet with China to they say it's they're not even saying it's to make a trade deal. They're like, it's just a, you know, initial meeting and we're gonna like talk to each other, but we're not looking for a trade deal or anything like that. And from what I understand of the reports of the Switzerland meeting is American officials weren't even fucking invited. They just found out that like China's representatives were going to be there, so they're just showing up, right? This is such an American thing to do, isn't it? Since the dawn of America, and I'm not celebrating it, I don't think it's funny, but since the very dawn of early America is just white people showing up where they're not invited. And I know I'm pale as shit. I get it. My ancestors are part of the fucking problem now, aren't they? Of course they are. But it's just white people showing up unannounced and saying, let me in, let me talk to you. But the part where you know that Donald Trump is really caving, really getting his ass kicked right now, is he started with the 145% tariffs. Now, I don't know when this meeting's happening. It could be today. Fuck, I don't really know. I'm trying to keep up with this fucking manic episode that the United States government is having about if we have tariffs or if we don't have tariffs and who will answer our phone. It's a fucking nightmare is what's going on. But anyways, before the meeting even happened, Donald Trump goes to Truth Social. Can you believe that there's a social media app called Truth, right? And anybody that constantly refers to what they're saying as the truth is most likely fucking lying. And in this case, they are definitely lying. But Donald Trump takes to Truth Social, his failed social media app that has hardly any users and would go bankrupt if it wasn't for a bunch of assholes buying up all the fucking meme coin, probably. That's my assumption. But anyways, goes to Truth before a meeting has even happened, before a phone call has even happened, and he announces that maybe 80% tariffs on China will be just fine. So Donald Trump backtracks before he even gets to the negotiating table. And the most fascinating, super interesting part of all of this is Donald Trump is exposing to the world exactly who he is. And it's got to be getting harder and harder for MAGA to defend this bullshit. Remember all the nonsense about we're going to run this country like a business and that's what needs to happen, which, by the way, is one of the stupidest fucking things I've ever heard. Governments aren't necessarily supposed to be like for profit. You know, we want a government for a whole list of things like defense. That's a good thing, right? We don't want to get blown up when we're sleeping or when we're awake even. We don't want to get blown up, I don't think. You know, infrastructure, education, the list goes on and on of reasons why you would want a government. And if the government was posting record profits quarterly and we're still living like this, I don't know about you, my friends, I'd want some answers. I want to know what the fuck is going on. Plus, business is just very fucking cutthroat, right? Which is the opposite of the function of government. We pay in taxes. We hope that they look out for us as citizens in some way or another. And it's not the worst trade-off that's ever fucking existed, right? We all kind of pool our money together to build a civilization that we're all comfortable with living in, right? So the whole idea of running it like a business was fucking stupid anyways. But there's a lot of people that we need Donald Trump to run this like a business, and he's the master negotiator is the funniest part of this entire fucking thing. The master negotiator, my friends. So what's happened so far in Donald Trump's negotiations with all these other countries, and I'm going to leave a lot of things out. Canada made up a fentanyl czar to stop all the fentanyl coming in through the Canadian border. Yeah, they did that. Mexico agreed to leave the same amount of troops at the border that they'd already agreed to under the Joe Biden administration. Donald Trump took a victory lap on both of those things. What other things? Oh, we started with a 10% tariff with the UK. Donald Trump spent about 2-3 days hyping up the fact that he has made an amazing deal with the UK, only for that tariff to end at 10%. So, master negotiator, huh? The art of the deal at work here. Donald Trump has done nothing for the American people except make life more expensive for all of us, made life harder for all of us, has caused Americans to lose jobs, layoffs, terminations, all kinds of things, because the supply chain is completely fucking broken at this point as we speak. And I know there's some hillbilly on the other side of this saying, well, Piggly Wiggly's got all the shit in it. I don't care. It just hasn't hit you yet. That's not the fucking point. And we got to get past this short-sightedness here in America where we just look outside our front door and go, yeah, everything's fine. The whole country must be good, because that's not how the fuck this works, right? That's not how all of this works at all. I know I keep predicting sort of the things I think are going to happen, but we'll end it on basically a very similar prediction to the predictions that I've been making. The most likely outcome of a deal with China is going to be either substantially lower tariffs around that 10% mark, or zero tariffs at all, while Donald Trump and Nutlick fucking spin it into a major victory for Donald Trump, and we will not see mass manufacturing come back to America. We will not see all these jobs that apparently Americans want. I don't know. I have no fucking clue. And it's all smoke and mirrors. It's all bullshit. It's all just another fucking lie from Donald Trump to the American people, where the very best case scenario for him is to put it back the way it was before he started destroying shit, declare victory, and the masses in red hats cheer as Donald Trump accomplishes absolutely fucking nothing again. Brilliant, isn't it, my friends? I just don't get it. Anyways, I got to get back to work. Love you guys. Bye now.